just going down to the National Farm Machinery Show here at the Mandako booth, and like it's one of the biggest farm machinery shows down in the States. And it's been real interesting, even with Mandako, like they're a Canadian manufacturer of tillage tools, rollers, pretty much everything that you pull behind a tractor in regards to tillage. They're a proponent of it's why I partnered with them. They're a big proponent of Canadian steel, Canadian hydraulics, Canadian components, everything that they can do and manufacture here in Canada, and they're built right in Plum Coulee, Manitoba. And right now, it's a very good example of a company that's in full panic mode for these tariffs that Trump's is placing on Canadian steel that he wants to do in another 30 days on all Canadian imports. These guys are panicking, trying to get stuff south of the line because we sell a lot of things as Canadians down into the States, especially in the agriculture world, right? And so these guys have done a good job of sourcing their steel. And when there's a 25% tariff on steel going into the U.S. from Canada, it's not going to affect these guys as much because they already deal with Canadian steel producers. But to try and sell that product to Americans down in the States, like when it's going to be hit with a 25% tariff when it comes into the States, it's going to be interesting to see what a lot of people at the farm show have to say of, hey, like, you guys buy a lot of stuff up here from us that you don't make down in the States. How's this going to affect your bottom line on your farm when you're trying to replace your equipment? Because I think that's one thing that a lot of Americans don't understand is actually how the tariffs do work, is they think that we're going to pay it when it comes down into the States. And you're like, you guys realize that you pay it, right? Do you get that, or have you dug that far into the tariffs?
Well, and that's what I wanted to ask you about it. And Giants for Life in our live chat says, well, your inputs, your tractors are going to cost more, quick, Dick. It feels like it's going to cost everybody more. Have you had a chance to kind of chew the fat with some of your American colleagues, maybe even some folks you've done business before, maybe even some new friends? Like, how's everybody feeling about this? The word that I get, the sense that I get, is that a lot of Americans right now that voted for Donald Trump, and nobody expects the price of eggs to drop by 60% in a week, for sure. But a lot of people that voted for Donald Trump to lower their cost of living right now are probably in for a rude surprise.
Going to be bad. It's going to get like how these usually work is it's going to get a lot worse before it'll ever start getting better. If it does get better, if that's the point. I mean, our eggs are expensive in Canada, but they're protected by supply management, right? And so you're not going to see huge variation and change in the price of eggs here in Canada. But if you look at farm inputs alone going down to the States, like, I mean, one of our top exports out of Saskatchewan down to the States is potash, right? It's fertilizer. And that will get hit with a tariff if they come back in 30 days, like Trump says they're going to. That's a 25% cost on top of people that already import all their potash from Saskatchewan. I mean, we're one of the largest potash reserves in the world, and it's a very key, important fertilizer in agriculture. And all of a sudden, it's going to be costing Americans 25% more. And they haven't seen a spike in their commodity prices of 25% to cover that. So, like, how does everybody think that's going to work out?